So here we are in our walk through the book of Jasher that is mentioned in Joshua and 2 Samuel. Scholars do say that this is not necessarily the book of Jasher referenced in scripture, and if that's true, we haven't found it. It didn't survive. I know I tell you that every time that it's non-canonized, but it promises to be faithfully translated. So if you remember, we were in chapter 80 and it was all about the plague. So we're going to start in chapter 81. So there's 6,000 men, not counting the women and the children, and they sojourned for 210 days. They camp in Suffolk, and meanwhile the Egyptians are burying their firstborn. And so now the Israelites have moved on. They camp in Etham, and when the Egyptians are done burying their dead, they're like, well, we should have never let the Israelites go. So Moses and Aaron, they're going to make a sacrifice, and they're eating, drinking, celebrating the feast of the Lord. But meanwhile, there are 700,000 men who have come to take the Israelites back. Moses and Aaron tell them, you can't return. And it says that the Israelites gave the Egyptians a severe beating. And the Egyptians flee back to Pharaoh. And it says that the Egyptians urge Pharaoh to pursue the Israelites. So they harness the chariots. They reach the Red Sea. The Israelites, it says, are divided into 4 camps. 1 who will drown themselves, 2 who says, let's go back to Egypt, 3 who say, let's go and fight, and 4 who just will go amongst them and confuse them. Moses tells them all not to fear. The Lord will fight with you. He prays. He lifts up his rod. The sea is divided. It says the water is divided in 12 parts. All died except Pharaoh because he believed in God, and an angel took him and put him in Nineveh. And it says that Israel sang a concert to the Lord. So the Lord will now give them their statutes, their judgments, manna to eat. And then we see that Amalek, who's the grandson of Esau, wants to fight with them, and he brings 801,000 men to fight. But Moses and the Israelites are victorious. We see in chapter 82 that the Israelites have been out of Egypt for 3 months with Rebel, who is Moses' father-in-law. Remember, that's Zipporah's dad. And Zipporah and his sons will come and live with Moses. And this is the time that God will give the 10 commandments to Moses. And you know the story. They wander, and you know what happened to Moses up there for 40 days. There's a golden calf that gets made. Moses throws the tablets out of desperation for them making this calf. The calf is burnt to dust. It gets put in the water, and 3,000 men die who made the calf. So Moses goes to atone for their sin for 40 days, and he gets 2 new stone tablets, and they make a sanctuary. So now we're in chapter 83. Moses and Aaron and their sons, dressed in their garments for 7 days, they will remain at the door of the tabernacle. And on the 8th day, Moses erected a sanctuary and is going to put all the furniture that was brought with the burnt offerings and stuff in it. So the 2 sons of Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, brought strange fire before the Lord who had not commanded them, so it consumes them. And on the day when Moses had completed the erection of the sanctuary, 12 princes brought their offerings before the Lord for dedication. And it goes on to list their offerings. Then what we see is that Moses commands that they keep Passover, and the Lord tells Moses to count the males of the children of Israel aged 20 and older, and his sons and Aaron's sons and the 12 princes of Israel, and there's 603,550. That's not counting the children of Levi. And then for the number of males from 1 month, there's on up to that age, there's 22,273. And from Levi 1 month and older, 22,000. Moses placed the priests of the Levites in service at this sanctuary. The Israelites take a 3-day journey and rest in Paran. And with the cloud gets taken away from the tabernacle on the 20th day of the month. And it says that the Israelites wanted meat. So the Lord was angry, but he gave them meat for one month to eat. And after that, his anger was kindled, and he smoked them with great slaughter. And that place is called Gibroth Hatvadah because they lusted flesh. We are going to run out of time. Darn it, I'm almost done with chapter 83, but we're not going to make it. Armor up, we ride at dawn. May God bless you as always. Have a great day.